All
Okay,
right.
it's recording.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it. It is 7:16 p.m. This is the beginning of the Community Board 11 Education, Culture, and Youth Services Committee meeting. I guess we'll go around and let the committee members introduce themselves. I am Alex Ellison, chairman of the committee.
Dear member.
And I believe Lisa's joining remotely. Lisa, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm one of the members of the Education Committee.
Thank you, Lisa. I guess before we begin, I just want to direct everyone's attention to the Code of Conduct statement. It's posted on the um, agenda for this meeting, so I would encourage anyone who hasn't reviewed it to review it. The minutes for the last meeting have not been posted yet, so we won't review that now. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is a discussion with Van Cortlandt House Museum Director Margaret Holmes. We'll be discussing the programs um, with the museum. Margaret, are you there? She emailed me that she's here. Let me email her. Yeah, she says listen. So I just emailed her. She says she's logged in, so I don't know if she's. Um,
Are the people not in the meeting? Are they like in the waiting room?
do we have? I never have to let people in from the waiting room. Um, just emailed her. I mean, we could just move on to the Juneteenth discussion, and then if she joins us, we can switch to that.
Yeah, it works.
Um, We'll see what happens. A lot of technical. Oh, there she is.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Margaret. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you coming to the meeting and talking to me about your programs.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for reaching out to us and offering to come talk to us about the Van Cortlandt House Museum. If you're ready, would you like to tell us a little bit about the museum and what you do?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. Let me just pull up my notes. Sorry, bear with me one moment. So once again, my name is Margaret Holmes. I've been the director of Van Cortlandt House for just going on a year now. And we've had a really good active year, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to sort of connect with all of the local community boards and kind of just get an opportunity to meet some of you and just tell you about what we've been doing and what we're planning on, because I hope to see some of you at the museum soon. And also my family is from Pelham Bay. So we go back a little south of you, but in the area for about 100 years. So I was also at Bartow Pell Mansion Museum, if anybody is familiar with Bartow Pell, prior to becoming the director of Van Cortlandt House. So I'm familiar with the historic houses that are located in parks within the city, as well as the Historic House Trust of New York City, which Van Cortlandt House is a member of. So a short history of the house, for those of you who might not be familiar with it, it is actually the oldest house in the Bronx. So it was built in 1748 by a man by the name of Frederick Van Cortlandt. The Van Cortlandt family came as sort of founders of New Amsterdam and acquired their wealth initially through essentially global trade with areas of the world like the Caribbean, Latin America, and Asia. The site that the house is on was actually a plantation. And so I think that's sort of a part of New York City history that's kind of starting to come to light a lot more. The Van Cortlandts were enslavers, and it was on the labor of enslaved Africans who worked both in the plantation as well as the mill that the Van Cortlandts operated. And that's a really important part of the history that we're trying to really discuss more and more transparently and in a more sort of broader view, the whole picture of New York City history. The house is also situated in beautiful Van Cortlandt Park, which has thousands of years of indigenous history as well. And we do have some programming coming up working with the Stockbridge-Munsee Band of Mohicans. They are descendants of the Lenape of the Bronx. And so where we all are is their homeland. And the house is unique in that it is standing in basically the preserved historical landscape of Van Cortlandt Park. So when you come to visit us in the park, you can sort of see the many layers of history that are still preserved in the park. So that makes us really unique, I feel like. There's a number of wonderful historic houses in the Bronx, and we're also happy to collaborate with them as well. So I hope that you've gone to some programming with the Museum of Bronx History and also Bartow Pell. So in terms of programming, we have a lot of really exciting things going on. One of the main things that I really wanted to let you know about was the free field trips for Bronx Public Schools. So that's an initiative that we took on starting in the 2024-2025 school year, and we plan on continuing that into the next school year. We do have an educational program that highlights all those sort of layers of history, the Dutch history, the indigenous history, the African history, and it examines all of the sort of core things that the fourth grade in New York City are looking at, but it can be adapted to any grade level really. So welcoming any educators to come book a field trip, no cost public schools, as well as provide input, because that's something that we're also looking to sort of speak with local educators and kind of connect us in terms of what you're looking for, what you think Van Cortlandt House has to offer your class, and how we can kind of connect with you and expand the Bronx history. We also have family-friendly programming. We're doing a Revolutionary War walk as well through Van Cortlandt Park on June 10th. That's called Between Enemy Lines. The Bronx was a really significant site of Revolutionary War history. And I think with the 250th coming up, we're looking at a variety of ways to kind of examine and commemorate the 250th. So we're kind of starting our programming for that now. We're going to have an event on July 17th, This Man's a Spy. It's a musical retelling of the plot between Benedict Arnold and John Andre during the Revolution. Family friendly, it will be free, outdoors on the lawn. There will be activities as well. We're also going to be doing a program with the Stockbridge-Munsee Band of Mohicans tribe, their herbalist, Misty Cook Davids, and that will be on July 13th. That will also be free, and that will examine the native plants and herbal medicines that are here in the Bronx, the Lenape homelands. We also have a lecture series, so we do free hybrid on-site online lectures on a number of topics. We had Dr. Payne from the Bronx County Historical looking at the Allerton Coops. We had a scholar by the name of Seth Hamill who discussed the colonial connections between New York and Barbados during the period that the Van Cortlandts were sort of amassing this wealth through the global trade. And these are themes that we examine in that field trip program as well, I should mention also. In particular, the Caribbean and Latin American connections to colonial New York, which is sort of we feel an understudied aspect of it that we're really trying to bring to light and connect with other scholars and practitioners of history, because part of our mission, part of many missions of historic house museums is to connect the past to the present. And so the Bronx community, obviously, it has a huge Caribbean, Latin American population. And so we really want to talk about that history and how it connects to New York as well. So we've been offering tours on the Caribbean connections between the Van Cortlands and the park and, early New York and the economic history. I have a women's history tour that I've been doing as well, which focuses exclusively on the experience of women during the time period of the 18th and 19th centuries. So we've really been sort of trying to broaden our programming and our reach to connect potentially with an audience who might not know that we're there, right? Because a lot of us come to the park and we see this large old stone house and we're not exactly sure what it's about. But Van Cortlandt House was actually New York City's first historic house museum. It was established in 1897. And so I think, as I mentioned earlier, the 250th and sort of thinking about the relevancy of historic preservation and how we look at and use our public spaces, I think is especially relevant to the historic houses that are located in our parks. And another sort of project that we have going, which is another reason I wanted to connect with you folks, is we've actually formed a community advisory committee in partnership with the Historic House Trust of New York City. And the Community Advisory Committee is essentially a group of, community leaders, thought leaders, just members of the community, folks who are park stakeholders, people who use the park, helping to inform our programming, our interpretation, our messaging, and how we can sort of reach the broader Bronx community and beyond. And so I am currently chairing that community advisory committee. And so I would love to invite anyone on CB11 who might be interested in finding out more about that, or potentially helping us to sort of figure out how we can continue to serve the community. I certainly invite that and look forward to it. I'm happy to share any documentation or further information that I have on the Community Advisory Committee with you. My email address is kind of easy. It's just Margaret, MARGARET @vchm.org. So doors always open. And I don't want to take too much of your time, so I hope that's sort of a short overview, but I'm super happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Thank you so much, Margaret.
Yes.
Is there anyone in attendance who has any questions for Margaret?
Hi, Margaret. My name is Lisa.
Hi,
I
Lisa.
wanted to ask you, how would a school go about finding out how to plan a trip?
So we have
if
two
you're
ways to
with
do
the
that.
DOE?
So you can book the trip through our website. So we have an online booking system. The website is vchm.org. And then we have a tab on the top that says education. And then you can click and you can see the overview of the programming and some of the supplemental materials that our educator developed to go along with it. And there you'll see a link to book the trip. And then you'll be brought to our booking system called Explorable Places. And you can do that fully online, or you can also email us. And that would be, you can either email me or you can email information@vchm.org.
Okay, great. Thank you. And what age range would you say would be optimal for this trip?
So it was developed with this 4th grade scope and sequence. However, it is very much adaptable to, I would say, grades 3 through 12. I mean, we can
Okay.
absolutely and have certainly welcomed K through 2, but some of the concepts really don't start till about 3 to 4. So we can make a really fun, exciting, kind of really hands-on for K through 2. But if you're looking for the scope and sequence, I would say like 3 through 12 is more appropriate.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Sure. And actually, just to add to that, we are looking to expand our educational offerings for different grade levels as well. So if there's anybody who, an educator that wants to give me some input on what you think might work for older students, that would be fantastic.
How often does your advisory committee meet? And is there a process by which you select people? And if there is a process, when does that take place?
So we've been meeting quarterly thus far, and we've pretty much been meeting virtually. The first meeting was on site at the museum. I would actually like to have some more on-site meetings going forward, but I know it's really hard to coordinate schedules. And the process is essentially, I mean, in the beginning, it was sort of a referral process, you know, when it was kind of kicking off, and then we were sort of just spreading out and asking who was interested. But I mean, I'm open to all community members who feel that you know, they have a vested interest, right, in what goes on in our public spaces, and you know, want to talk about what places like the public historic houses can do for the community.
And just to clarify, when you're inviting people to participate, are you inviting them to participate as observers or to become members of the advisory board?
Right. So to be members of the committee, it is a volunteer committee. So I would be asking for some of your time. But we're trying to, as the chair, I'm trying to expand the committee because the actual end game or the goal, the objective is going to be a community informed strategic plan for the museum. And so the members of the advisory committee would be essentially assisting us with gathering community feedback, community input. So for example, maybe running a focus group virtually, you know, having a meeting at the museum, gathering folks, meeting in the park, things of that nature. Or, I mean, there's ways to participate virtually probably as well. But it would be sort of helping us figure out what the community wants and needs, and then sort of helping us use that feedback and input to create a strategic plan, which, as I'm sure you know, provides accountability. It provides, you know, sort of a framework, and almost sort of like a project management, right, with where we see ourselves going over the next 3 years. And I really, as a director, think it's absolutely imperative that we speak to the community and get direct community feedback about that.
Yeah, I think that's great. You know, if you want to send me information about that, I can forward it to the rest of the full board so they're aware.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if it's okay with you, I could also forward it to some of the civic associations that are in our district too, just to let them know about
Sure.
it and invite them to participate. So if that's okay with
Absolutely. And for anybody who's interested, I mean, in this meeting or otherwise, I'm happy to provide a guided tour to anybody who hasn't been to the museum in a long time, because we have really shifted our interpretations. I mentioned earlier that kind of Caribbean and Latin American connections to colonial New York, you know, and it's changed if you haven't been there in a long time. So always, like I said, my door is open. Shoot me an email. And if I'm there, I'm happy to give anybody a tour too.
Yeah,
Pick up on that.
yeah. Maybe we could organize like a community board.
Yeah, I'd
tour.
love
That'd be
that.
fun.
That would be excellent. So yeah, for sure. Definitely open to that.
Okay. Is there anyone else in attendance who has any questions for Margaret? Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming and really exciting. You know, the programming sounds really interesting. I will 100%, I think, be there for the that herbal
Oh,
tour.
excellent. Cool.
That sounds really
And
interesting.
what I'll do as well is we create flyers with our upcoming events. We just have to update right now and make a new one. So I can also continue to send you those flyers just so you guys know what's going on. And if you want to share it internally or externally or with any other organizations that you're involved with, that would be great. And yeah, shoot me an email if you'd like to do a tour.
Yeah, then we'll reach out, see if we
Yeah.
it might be a fun
Okay,
summer.
great. And I'll send you some of that documentation regarding the Community Advisory Committee. I'll sort of write something up specifically for the community board that makes sense as opposed to just my notes. So within the next few days, I'll send something over. Okay.
That'd be great. Yeah, thank you so much.
And your website has all the programming too, like a calendar. Events.
It does,
Okay.
for sure.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. And if any questions, of course, just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll be able to answer them.
Terrific. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you all
Margaret.
so much. I really appreciate your time, and I hope to see some of you soon.
You will.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Take care. Have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. I didn't even know this existed.
I've definitely been there, but I think it was like a weekend. It was closed. It's a really cool looking building from the outside,
Where is it at exactly?
like the southern part of Van Cortlandt Park.
Like next to the golf course, like that big brown building.
Oh, sort of. I mean, it's like it's right. Well, I haven't. It's been a few years, but from what I remember, it's right to the south of the big like field where they have like soccer and there's like a big open field. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, it's a
I feel
pretty
like I've
impressive
probably
house from the
played it.
outside.
Yeah. Nope, definitely never seen it. So like definitely, oh, it's huge. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, this is so big. Ah,
that's how they built houses back then.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay. I wonder how far it is to back there. Ah, well, easy enough.
it's not bad. I think if you just go up Mashalou.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So Juneteenth. I think
Yes.
everyone on the committee's been CC'd in the emails with Cynthia. Um,
But I've seen them in one of those weeks.
my understanding from what I was emailing Cynthia is it sounds like a lot of the programming is in place. I guess they're just trying to raise funds. So that when I asked her like, "What do you need?" she said, "You know, if you could go out and try to get some community, do some fundraising." So that's what I've been doing. I visited
There's a list of places, right?
there. So she sent us a spreadsheet, but I think the spreadsheet is places that have already committed, not places that we haven't reached yet. I can sort of clarify that with her. She also sent a Google document with some notes about who she's reached out to and sort of some notes about the last event that we put on. Um, so, but yeah, that's sort of what I've been doing is fundraising. I visited some of the banks in the community today, and some of them expressed some interest, and then reached out to um, some other businesses, asked my work for money.
Nice.
So I don't know if either of you have anyone in mind who you'd like to reach out to.
I'll look at the list. Is there like within the document like a pamphlet or information, something to like leave with folks so they have follow-up questions they can call back, or like just so I know sometimes talking to someone like the auditory process, just so that they have is there something to hand them?
I'm pretty sure there's a flyer.
Okay.
And yeah, when I was walking around today, people were like, "Do you have a flyer?" I was like, "No."
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I was like, "I can email it to you." So yeah, I'm pretty sure we have a flyer that Cynthia sent around, and I can look for that and try to forward it to.
Yeah. Could you?
Yeah.
The event is a week from.
It's June 22nd, so I think that's.
Oh, we got time.
3 weeks from now.
Yeah, like 2 weeks from Sunday. Almost
Yeah.
through. Just 3 weeks from Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Really? So just June 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a time on there.
But yeah, I would say that's sort of just the thing that needs to be done is do some more outreach for fundraising. I don't know Lisa, do you have
Right.
anything in mind or
Sponsorship.
any leads?
I don't, I wasn't able to open, I know I had Cynthia sent me, the email, I requested access to it, but I was never able to open it because it somehow went into a different email account of mine. So I don't know what the, financial things are right now. Like, do we have enough money to have the event?
I'm not sure where we are as far as I don't know if we already have. I assume we still need money because um, we're being asked to conduct additional fundraising. But I'm not sure how close we are to our goal. I know we've gotten some commitments from some of the elected officials.
What's the goal? Is the goal 20? It's 2,500.
I think that's what I asked, but it wasn't confirmed.
Okay.
I sent an email, but
And is that for the essentials that we need for the event?
yeah, so that covers the venue, the vendors. I think there's going to be music.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should be good.
Um, so yeah, I think that's around what the budget is, but I don't know. I don't know if how close we are to reaching it. The spreadsheet does have, I think, a list of some of the people who've committed funds.
yeah, I was not able to open that for some reason through the Google. I requested access, but it was just a problem. Alex, would you be able to send me a screenshot?
Yeah.
Email me a screenshot?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Or maybe I could just like copy it into like an Excel and a Word document.
Yeah, that's fine.
Forward it to you. Yeah.
I just wasn't able to open it.
Same. I also can't open it.
Yeah, I was having some trouble too. I think because I was like logged into Google under a different account than the one I was emailing.
Yeah, I think that's what I was.
And so then I had
And
to
I'm
like,
not that
yeah.
I'm not very tech savvy, so I wasn't able to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not either. So it took a little bit of troubleshooting, but to get it sorted out. Yeah, so I'll try to send that to
Okay,
you.
that would be great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I don't know, any other questions or ideas? Oh, Cynthia's here.
Hi, guys. I just got to work and it was kind of busy, so I just wanted
Oh,
to pop in.
well, thank you. You kind of came at the perfect time because we're talking about Juneteenth.
Awesome. I actually just saw some share requests.
That's so funny. We were just talking about that.
Let me grant that. How's everyone doing?
Good. I had a little bit of trouble getting into the office today. I had to break into it with a screwdriver, but
What?
just the key box that the key is in. I think the key was like jammed on the lever you have to push,
Oh, yeah.
and it just wouldn't turn over. So I had to kind of crank it with this. I had to run home and get a screwdriver and like crank it open.
Oh, gosh.
But it's all working. The
All right.
security for the office is not damaged. So
Sounds good.
okay. Yeah. So it's been a fun meeting. Yeah.
I'll watch the beginning once things settle down here. Um so in terms of Juneteenth, how can I help you? How can I don't know, give some clarity on anything or
Well, I think Dear and Lisa were sort of asking what's needed. It sounds to me like what's needed now is fundraising.
right now, yeah, I mean, I think it gives us some flexibility because I know that we're kind of tied with our current budget because it has to be utilized with specifically a city vendor. That's our biggest challenge.
I see.
So I'm thinking that we locked in the DJ. The DJ is a city vendor, so that's good. And then I was thinking that in terms of food, I know there are a few restaurants that are city vendors. Um, so that'll be helpful there. I've reached out to a couple of other board members in terms of maybe having speakers come and give us a little background, some historical, narratives on Juneteenth. Um, and maybe even tying it to not necessarily Juneteenth itself, but um tying things into current events in the community, maybe advocacy work or something like that. So if you guys have any thoughts, I'm totally open.
Do you still need? I think at the community development meeting last week, you're looking for people to honor at the event. Are you still looking for people for that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So if you
Uh,
think of people that you think are representative of the district, or um you know people who you think might be worthy of a little recognition, let's talk about it. We can do an email or phone calls, whatever you guys think is will work.
okay. Yeah, and I was saying I went to some of the banks today and I had some interest. And a few other businesses, so hopefully I'll get some
Nice.
news.
Awesome.
All right, you wrote a letter,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. I remember. So we could even just give that letter. Could we give that letter when we're asking, or would you prefer
Sure.
we?
Whatever you guys, if you want to look at it and maybe make some edits, or send it out as is. Off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what the wording was, but yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I think it's a pretty um generic invite slash request.
Okay.
And you,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
looking at it. Yeah, it's good.
you sent out a flyer too, right?
Yes, there is a save the date, draft flyer, which, as we get more sponsors. So like, let's say, ABC Bank reaches out and says, they'd like to sponsor with a little donation, then they can send us the logo and I'll add them to the flyer.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And also, one of the banks I visited today, just for their like the paperwork they need.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Sorry, go on.
I was just saying they said they needed a flyer and also a tax form. So Jeremy
Okay.
completed the tax form for me today, but I'm just gonna forward him that flyer.
Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a link to the tax form. Say it again. What about the tax form?
One of the banks, just sort of like the bureaucratic
Yeah.
stuff they need to give us funding. They needed a. They
Yeah,
said
they need what's called our EIN number, probably.
so Jeremy filled it out today, and it should be in the box right now. Actually, our committee mailbox.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
yeah, I could probably make a copy of it too, in case anyone else asks.
Yeah.
Just have it.
Have it on hand.
Not a bad idea.
Probably even add it to the bottom of the letter.
Yeah.
How's her? She's good. No, not much. Like she feels like the contractions look.
Okay. Anything else, Cynthia? Is there anything else you want to highlight for us as far as what we should be, how we can be helpful?
Right.
I think right now the biggest things is, honorees. I'm still trying to nail down a keynote speaker for us. I put out some feelers for that. We have a balloonist. If anyone knows of a face painter, that would be nice. Or if you have thoughts on something else that we can do, in terms of activities or something, can talk about it.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good.
All right, guys. I'm gonna hop off and jump back in over here.
Okay.
Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
Lucia.
Talk to you guys later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
We got the board games. I always love a board game, like a giant Jenga.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since we're gonna be outside.
Yeah,
The
that'd
sound
be
won't be
fun.
as scary. Yeah.
I think of what other like outdoor fun stuff you could do.
Mm.
Yeah, big
I feel
Jenga.
like
would be
there's
fun.
like I've seen like the big like Connect Four.
Yeah.
There's those like sporty things where like you throw the ball like Velcro and
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
like-
what's that game where you throw the like
Oh,
bag?
cornhole.
Yeah.
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 Hand jam. There's it's like a frisbee game where you throw and try to get the frisbee into. It's a lot of fun. I don't know where it's at, but we should probably bring that.
Yeah.
We're on the hill.
That'd be fun. Like
Dier, if I
Yeah.
can find my can jam, I will donate my can jam.
Oh,
Oh,
nice!
awesome.
Oh, I love it.
I have to look for it.
Okay. Yeah, I love that game.
You'll at least have one person playing it, Lisa. Thank you so much. Okay, anything else? Juneteenth we want to talk about? Okay, we'll move on to the gallery. Anyone in attendance like to speak as part of the gallery?
I can't tell. Is like Kate Cardona they're not in the meeting, or they?
Oh yeah, I guess maybe she was in the meeting a moment ago. But then how come she's featured but not Margaret?
Oh, Mark. Oh, right. Wait, scroll down on the right.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess these people have logged in.
Oh, bro.
Okay. Oh, it's just
All
the three
right.
of us.
Well,
Okay. Any motions? No.
no.
Old business or new business? No.
No.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Any objections? Okay, it's 7:54 p.m. This ends the meeting of the Education, Culture, and Youth Services Committee.
Wow, term over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last meeting of the
We
year.
did it.
Yeah. All right.
Kind of anticlimactic.
I should have brought like one of those. All right, everyone. Lisa, take care.
Okay, guys, it was great working with you this year. Looking forward to September.
Looking forward to September.
See you all then.
All right.
Bye, Jeremy.
Bye, Lisa. Bye, Jeremy.
Bye.
Easy peasy.